All right, I've got a new thinking on thinking. So here's my new thoughts, our thought process. So I was thinking about if you have an impulse or a habit, that's your first like thought. So like think of it like a thought bubble, and you have an impulse or a habit. Now typically these things get created because they're beneficial and they help you, and but that's not always the case. Obviously, there's so many people. Who doesn't have bad habits? I've been guzzling coffee like there's no tomorrow my whole life, for instance. But so you take that impulse and habit. Do I turn here? I think I do. And then you have another thought around that thought, like how does this fit well with my my goals, what I want, like the kind of behaviors I want, not only like for myself, like is this going to be good for me, and also is it going to be good for everybody else? What's going on here? Is that person going to go for it? That person was going to try to go for it. The impulse and habit, the train's coming, and the things are coming down, and they were going to try to make it through. So like, is that good for you and everybody else? And the idea is like, what if it goes wrong? Like the train might have to slam on its brakes. That's not going to be good for the train. It's going to scare that person. The people on the train might all get lurched forward. And then wherever you're going, you're not going there now. If you get hit by a train, like whatever you thought you're going to do for the rest of your day, that's not going to happen. And then like around that thought is an even greater bubble. This is the last bubble, which is this, now you're not thinking about just you in the moment and other people around you in the moment, but the future you. Is this going to be good for future you? And it'll also will it be good for the future of other people, like your friends and your family, even strangers? A certain amount of consideration should be given to even when you do something in your own front yard or even in your own house. Like, is this music going to be loud enough that people will hear it inside their own house? You should be living a life where there's times where you have absolute freedom of how you behave. But as long as it doesn't interfere with other people's freedom of how they want to behave. They might want to be hanging out in their house quietly, and that needs to be taken into consideration, because how it affects them will affect you back no matter what you think. And it might be so subtle, but it's true. Like how you behave overall that affects people down the line into the future will have a cascading effect that changes your future in a way. So you have to ask yourself, is it likely to change it in a very positive way? And if you're even confused by the question about that, then think harder about it. Because that might just be, you might be in a thought bubble that you have difficulty reaching, a level of thinking that you have difficulty attaining. Because you might not realize that you're playing loud music interferes with your neighbors, because they might not ever say anything. But you might also notice, if you're perceptive, that they often have other neighbors over for barbecues in their backyard, but you don't know them really well, and so it makes sense that you don't get invited. But you don't know them really well. That might be because they don't want to know you. And the importance of listening to music super loud in your house, the potential for sound traveling into other houses. You're like, well, maybe I'll put on headphones. I've got some sweet headphones, by the way. The sound's amazing. Like, the sound's way better than speakers in your house. There was. So that's my idea. That's my new thoughts on thinking. So, but I was thinking about a story I just told. There was a person that I knew, and we both wanted the same thing in life. And we both wanted to buy a house. And one of the ways that you could buy a house is you could get a loan on your 401k, use that loan as a down payment on a house, and then when you pay your 401k off, that money goes back into your 401k. So as long as you could pull it off, that's kind of win-win. Now, I met a bunch of people that had done that. Now, they didn't tell me that they had done it, and they knew that both I and this other person wanted to buy a house. They knew a solution that was really beneficial. One person told me, one person took time out of their life to say, like, hey man, I know you've been wanting to do this. Do you know that this is an option for yourself? I'm like, no, I didn't. But I did find out later that they weren't the only person that knew it, but they were the only person that took the time and cared enough about me to tell me the solution. And this other person, no one told this other person. And the thing was, this other person did not like me. Did not like me at all. And so no one told them. And as a caveat, this doesn't really count. I told them. So like, but I'm not typical. I would help out someone. It would never occur to me not to help someone out just because they don't like me. When for typically, like, if some people don't really even care about you, it doesn't even cross their mind. They're inside the first thought bubble. They're like, I want something. I want a house. I did research on how to get it. I found out I get money on my 401k, so I did it. There's no greater thought bubble, because why would you even need to think that out any further? You know, like, but like, how does this take away, or can this benefit anyone else? Well, I don't see it's taken away from anybody, but you know, it might be able to benefit someone else. And then the greater thought bubble is, but then how does this benefit me in the future? Is like, that person that took the time out to tell me the solution when no one else did, I don't know what it was that made him do that for me. I didn't know them very well, but it might have been some kindness, or me taking the time out of my day to give them some help. Like, I heard you were trying to do this. Did you know you could do that? And like, okay, cool. And I just move on. I didn't want anything from it. I'm not trying to gain more of their friendship. But I do believe that I believe that we all, if humanity has an obligation, a mutual social contract to try to help everyone around you, because a rising tide lifts all ships. You know, if everyone around you has all they need to eat, then you need not worry for the grain in your field. No one's going to steal the grain in your field, because you ensured the people around you understood the importance of watering, the weather, the fighting rats, and all these different things. What helps other people helps me. So